All right, we are live. Welcome, world. My name is Summer Joy Raymer, and I am the co-founder of the Sign Network, Synergized Impact Network Exchange, and also the Compassion Games International and creator of Garden of Joy. And I am here with Elisabeth Williams, who is the founder of All Partners, who's where we are going live from, All Partners Facebook page. And she has an extraordinary event really amplifying women as we're going into this. We now are officially in the month of honoring women. Yeah. And so she's going to have this incredible event going on in the live streams, interviews with different extraordinary women. And her work in general is really about empowering women and girls all over the world, social impact. She's an extraordinary friend, ally, and collaborator with the bestest of places in my life. So I'm just so grateful to be here with you. I call her Liz. Welcome, Liz. And let's talk about what you're going to be doing next week.
Yeah. Thank you so much. It's always a joy to be here. We're here quite often, it seems like recently, which is magnificent. But yeah, this is Women's History Month, which is awesome. And March 8th is International Women's Day. And so it really is a time to highlight what women are doing around the world, and particularly at this time when they have been so disproportionately impacted by the COVID shutdown. And so what we're going to do next week is really bring some good news and show you what's happening around the world and what women are doing. So yeah, I can just tell you a little bit about the lineup. We won't get into a lot of detail. We'll save it for next week. But we're looking at, so the title of the program is called From Wall Street to Woo Woo. And I think about that's actually kind of in some ways been my path, because I started out in banking, not on Wall Street, but on LaSalle Street, which is the Chicago's Wall Street, and then have moved more into the social impact space and a little bit of woo woo, because that's where we are on the planet right now. We need some woo woo. So, but we're going to start out on Monday. The topic is philanthropy, and we have three extraordinary women. Sandra Shaw Hardy is one of the co-founders of the Women's Philanthropy Institute, and she's also currently one of the co-founders of Women's Giving Circles International. So we're going to touch on the founding of the Women's Philanthropy Institute, why it was created, the research that they do, with their current director, who is Jeannie Sager. She'll also be with us. And so we'll get into the research around women and giving, and then also about giving to support women and girls. And then, and so segue there to Laura Lopez Blasquez, who is from the Global Fund for Women. And their work is actually funding grassroots projects, approximately 300 different organizations around the world that are supporting women and girls. And so we'll get into some of the details about the themes that they support and why and how that's being carried out. So that's just Monday. On Tuesday, we're going to turn to impact investing. And that's just another really exciting area, because what that allows individuals to do, and we're going to focus on women, is take their investment portfolio and convert either a portion or their entire portfolio into impact, meaning that they know that their dollars are doing good for the world. And so Ellen Remmer is with us, and she's created an organization called Invest for Better, which are actually circles of women coming together to learn more about how to be involved in impact investing. And so that's going to be a really great conversation, because there's a lot that area is growing so much now, and it's really open to and available to anyone who's investing. So that's exciting. On Wednesday, we're going to turn to social entrepreneurship, which is another favorite topic of mine. I am love working with social entrepreneurs who are focused on profit and purpose. And one of my favorite organizations is Ashoka. And they actually support social entrepreneurs. They provide funding to their fellows, and then some other additional support that they provide to them to get them up and going. And I'm going to be speaking with Claire Davenport, who focuses specifically on female social entrepreneurs. And so we're going to talk about what are their unique challenges, what are the types of things that they're doing, and how we can support them. So that's what we'll be doing on Wednesday. And then on Thursday, we're going to focus on conscious business. And so this is a really, really interesting conversation with a good friend that I've known for years, started an organization years ago called To the Market. And originally what she was doing was bringing the products of women artisans from around the world. She was creating a market for them here in the United States and in other places. She has, over the past, I saw about 10 years or so that it's been around, she has actually morphed to the point that they are focused on a sustainable supply chain solution for retailers. So their dream is that retailers eventually, all that they do is good for people and good for the planet. And they have vetted approximately 200 organizations that can be suppliers to companies in the United States as well as around the world. And so they're doing some amazing things. Another women-owned, women-led business. So really, really excited to talk to Cindy Jones-Nyland, who's their Chief Marketing Officer, on Thursday. So that's what we're headed to. And then we're leaning toward the woo-woo. So Friday, we come together with a circle of women, many who are sign members, and Summer Joy Raymer will be with us there. And that is kind of the result of a dream of mine, a vision of mine, which is how do we bring, I mean, we can do all of these amazing things that are happening, but we also know that there's something bigger going on and something more that we can bring to women and to children to really impact them from their healing. And so we are bringing together women who are healers in a variety of healing modalities. And we're just going to talk about in circle, what do we need to do? How can we share our knowledge, our wisdom, our healing with women and children around the world? And how can we do that more quickly so that we can actually start to lift them up and lift each other up together at this really challenging and really pivotal time on the planet. So that's what we're looking at.
Well, I just want to acknowledge that, I mean, everything, the whole thing is about lifting up women. Yeah. And I just thank you for hearing the call and really so actively engaging and sharing. I mean, it's such a great space that you just want to share these incredible women that are doing exactly what you see is so important in the world. I wonder for you too, as others are watching and maybe wanting to really engage. So we'll be going live, and there will be some pre-recordings, but those will be happening. So starting on Monday, which is International Women's Day, so exciting. 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time is that every day you'll be going live at that time, and we'll be making sine waves of this. So tell us, how can other women, other men, other people around the world also be supportive to this? And then my other sort of thought too is, how do you want to see at the end of those days, what would you like to see that this has impacted, or what would you like to see shift in the world?
Great question. So yeah, we will be live starting Monday. The only pre-recorded will be on Thursdays, but we'll be live the other days. And that means with Summer in the room with us, kind of watching the stream here, we'll be able to answer questions or take your comments and that type of thing. So you can absolutely interact with these women if you have specific questions. And so that's really, really cool. In terms of what I would love to see happen, I think awareness is obviously the first step, but what is amazing right now is we have the opportunity to give, shop, and invest for impact, and it's getting easier and easier. And so my ultimate goal has been to encourage more women to support women. I'll give the statistic that we'll be talking about more on Monday, but the statistic that I keep referring back to is from the Women's Philanthropy Institute, which has done research and shown that of all the philanthropic giving in the United States, less than 2% goes to address the issues that women and girls are dealing with. And for women of color, that number is even lower. And so that to me is just kind of unacceptable. And it doesn't make sense to me, because there are so many women now who have the ability to use their resources of time, talent, and treasure to make a difference. And when we look around at what's going on in the world, we know that we are all needed to step up. And so what I would love to see is more women saying, yeah, there is something I can do. And as you'll learn next week, there is something you can do right now. And so just to encourage more to become involved. And that's what Our Partners has been about, how to help you, to guide you, to educate you on how to become more effective in the way you give, shop, and invest. And so, I would love to see more women and men supporting these causes that are just so important. Oops, you're muted.
I was just chiming into the live stream, and if there's any questions that anyone has for Elisabeth as we're here live talking about, we'll probably be live here for 5 or so more minutes, just asking a few more questions, but please let us know if you also have any questions. She's an amazing mentor as well, and like how to do philanthropy and how to have purpose and impact come from the same place, and also the awareness that philanthropy is not just the it's not just about money here. This is about time and sharing gifts, and there's just so much more to philanthropy that I would say I've learned because of you. And so, I mean, just she's an incredible resource and support. I know that you also are working on impact circles and things like that. Is there anything else that you want to share about kind of what's unfolding on the other side for All Partners as you're moving forward and having just so much opportunity? You've got that Facebook group, the Women Giving Back. You're really building quite a community for women. Do you want to share more about that?
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting because we're actually at a pivot point with Our Partners. I feel like Our Partners 1.0 has kind of come to a pause. The focus has very much been on how to educate women on how to give, shop, and invest. But with all that's happened since 2020, I have become more committed, and Our Partners is more committed to focusing exclusively on the issues that women and children are struggling with around the world. And so to that end, I had created a program called the 7 Pillars of Women's Repowerment. And my first thought was that we were going to create impact circles around those pillars, but I have really felt a sense that we need to take a pause, and we need to do a little bit more research and get a little bit better understanding of what's going to be needed and required coming out of this COVID shutdown. So much is shifting, and there is so much need. And I want to make sure before we just jump into the next thing that we do some reflection. And so we're going to take a bit of a pause, and I don't know how long that will be, but just to dive a little bit deeper into those 7 pillars and a little bit deeper into the issues. The pillars are actually representative of the issues that women and girls are struggling with. And so just to tell you what they are access to healthcare, freedom from violence, education, economic empowerment, and equality. Those are the 5 core pillars. We've added 2 anchor pillars, reconnecting with Mother Earth and restoring the sacred. And we believe that in that container of 7 pillars, we can address all of the issues that are intersectional. They intersect each other, and they're all important. But if we can address those simultaneously, that we will actually be able to move the needle. But I need to do a bit more research because I want to understand a little bit better how we at Our Partners and our community can actually affect real and lasting change. So I'll stay tuned. I'll keep you informed.
Yeah, so good. And I would say within that pause, there's so much work that's happening and so much stirring in you, and to acknowledge that there's an emergent space that you're really leading. We were just a part over the weekend of the Being Beloved community convening. Mm-hmm. And I just want to say that the open space session that you and Mira Michelle really facilitated with other women. Everything was so collaborative and emergent. But that to me, even though it feels, yes, a pause, I also feel there's still incredible work unfolding and blossoming within our partners, and what the space that you're offering for us collectively to get clear about, what are the issues that matter the most, and that maybe are in our own journey. I mean, it's just like so much has changed over the last year. I mean, I just think about like what was unfolding a year ago, and coming back from flying and traveling, and it was like suddenly the awareness of a global plague was unfolding, and now it's a little different. Yes, we're still figuring that out, vaccines and everything, but I really respect you in how you're navigating and realizing that there's so much change unfolding, not only in the world, but also like how you operate and how your organization is unfolding and changing as well. And I can relate in so many ways. I wonder for you, when you kind of are unpacking those pillars, and what is the pillar like, as you feel into this next week, and what you're going to be sharing, and how you're using your platform and honoring other women? What is the pillar that's really at the depth of your heart right now that feels so important to you? Or what keeps you up at night? Like, what is the thing that you feel is like in your cells or in your body, just wanting you to like really connect with and impact in the world for women?
Oh, gosh, I know you and I have talked about this before, and I think you're clearer than I am. I mean, maybe it's because I'm so close to them with the research that I'm doing that it's very difficult for me to say one is more important than the other. However, I do think I would say that this idea of restoring the sacred, which is really this idea of this rise of the divine feminine, I don't think any of these other pillars will happen without that being infused into them. And so I do think, and that's really what we had this incredible experience on Sunday in the open space session that was focused on the rise of the divine feminine. And you make a really, really important point, which is this is really, really critical. This is not about us who have going to help those who have not. That is a hierarchical approach. It's been evident in philanthropy in the past. It's a patriarchal approach. That is not what this is about. And that's what you saw in that circle this weekend was we all need to heal. So, this is not just about us going and fixing it for other women. This is about us healing together. And that is how the divine feminine will rise. And so I think, if I had to choose one, I would say I don't see how this happens. I don't see how we move the needle without bringing in a bit of that woo-woo, without bringing in the bigger picture, without bringing in the other dimensions and the spiritual dimensions. I mean, I just think it has to. And that's what we're seeing, right? We're seeing science and spirituality now start to merge. We're starting to see excuse me, Wallstreet and woo-woo merge. I mean, that's what this is. This is really just bringing that out, which is we need to come together. And so, so that's, I think where this is headed. So for me to dive deeper into my own spirituality and my own divine feminine rising, and then incorporate that with the pillars.
Yeah. And just to reflect to you, I feel like that is, I really see that being embodied by you. And I feel that that's part of why these spaces that you're, being called to cultivate and create with other women is such a powerful, healing, restorative place, is because that is where you're coming from. Like that's the intent and the purity of where you're wanting. So it's alluring. It's your All Partners is growing. And I just have to say, because it was something that was very present yesterday. Do you mind if I share the words that you shared, or maybe you want to share the words of the reflection and how you just kind of hold it together? But I just want to honor it because it was very powerful in, you know, the divine feminine and what that offers for the whole of, is there anything else you want to share? But I just feel like
No, that's a great way
sharing,
to, and I don't actually have it in front of me, so I'll let you,
I have it.
I'll describe what happened and then you can read it. And that would be just a great way
Yeah.
to end.
Okay,
But
great.
so we were, in a circle, and my co-host, my co-partner, Mira Michelle, as well as Heather, Elisabeth was there, kind of holding this space. So it was a space that we created to weave together, we were asking women what they needed to step up into leadership from a place of the divine feminine. Like, what would that look like? And so there was just a lot of, interaction, and women were really expressing what was happening in the moment. But then as we came to the conclusion of what we called the weave, then, I just posed the question, anybody want to we had about 20 minutes left. Do you just want to kind of summarize, like, what did that feel like for you? And so really, I think each woman in the room was able to express, and, in just a couple of minutes, what came forth for them. And so I was harvesting, I was taking the notes, and then just took that, what came forth, and blended it into this reflection that, kind of, and it was just, it shows you kind of the beauty of what came forth spontaneously, unprepared. And so if you just want to read what that was, it was just extraordinary.
Yeah. And so here it is. Reflections from our sacred circle. Well, first up, there is no more powerful force on the planet than a circle of women committed to effecting real and lasting change. It's from Elisabeth Williams, quote from her. And this is what she pulled together from the harvest of many women. This was a coming home, a circle of vibration for women, us as one in unity across space and time, a place of healing our wounds and our wombs, a still point to come back to for sustenance, guidance, and deep remembrance, a place for real talk where we can feel the difficult, agitated, the dark in safety and trust, because being a woman and a leader is hard. How do we do so in a fierce and yet feminine way? To learn to lead from our inner voice, to free our soul and embody the flow of the divine feminine.
Yeah, I mean, incredibly powerful.
Yeah, really.
And, it's what the world needs right now.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, it was, women coming together in circle is incredibly powerful. It's a powerful force. And we said going into that, it's important for us to heal whatever the divide is within each of us, but also heal any divide between women. And that's really what I see happening. And it really is, gives us hope that as we come out of this, we're going to come out of this better and create a better world for all. So that's the ultimate goal.
Thank you so much, Elisabeth Williams,
Yeah,
for what you clearly are called to and what you stand for and who you are in the world and what you're inviting for all of us to honor as the women and girls of the world to really be empowered. Yeah. So I'm excited for what you're offering next week. Everyone who is interested, like All Partners Facebook page, check out her website, and I'll see you on Monday, the International Day of Honoring Women.
And as always, thank you to you and John and the Sign Network for amplifying everything that we're doing to change the world.
Well, we do things together.
Indeed.
Growing with synergy.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.